Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Dev's Reviews here with another video again. And today we'll be flying from Palma de Mallorca to London Stansted with Ryanair on their 737-800 aircraft. Hopefully this time we'll get maybe a max depending on the chances, but so far by the looks of things we're looking like we're going to be on 737-800. And I'm looking forward to take you guys back with me. It's been a good holiday. The sun's really nice, the weather's really good. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, so we will head back. And today I will not be sat in an exit row, I'm going to be sat bare bones economy, so you'll see a bit of a contrast compared to the last video, and hopefully Ryanair's consistency is almost the same as it was last time. Because we're going on like one of the later flights of the day, we'll probably see the plane a bit more worn in terms of the cleanliness. Let's hope it's not too tragic, but at the same time, you know, we can't expect it to be exactly the same as it was from the first flight, because that was the first flight of the day, and this is one of the last, well, not the last flight of the day, but one of the last flights of the day. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too, and hopefully if you've seen my last video you'll see how it was last time, just so you can kind of, you know, see if there's any differences yourself. I'm hoping it won't be too different, but hopefully we won't get told off filming this time like I did in the last video. Anyways, we're going to get our way to the airport now. We're just trying to find a fuel station to return the rental car back with a full tank of fuel, and other than that I'll see you guys in the airport. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're new here, and sit back, relax and enjoy this video.
Is it on? Don't know. 26. Right, I'm going to very quickly go over it.
Right, so I'm in the lounge at the airport now. Just thought I'd let you guys know. Hope you've enjoyed those little rolling shots and stuff. Just still waiting on our flight. It's about an hour from now, so got a good amount of time to unwind. So far the lounge has been pretty good. Lounge privacy there isn't a lot because it is just one smallish room, but there are a few cubicles for you to do business work in, like a business centre, which is pretty good considering most of the lounges don't have those little cubicles. It's quite nice to see you've got dedicated space to work. Food selection's pretty decent. It's very Spanishy. There's lots of meats, lots of mixed food, but then there's also a few like pulled pork buns, a few bits of pizza. Nice variety. The drink variety is good as well. I just had a rum and coke, my usual. But other than that, just waiting for the flight to happen. Not much else to update on. Chairs in the lounge are pretty comfy. Charging facilities are pretty good. There's like a charging port in between each seat, which is nice. Shame they're not USB. They are in the European plug, so if you do come to this Formentor VIP Lounge, just bear that in mind. But other than that, it's not too bad. I would say the privacy could be a bit better in general, but it's just one thing that kind of lets it down. Other than that, it's a pretty good lounge. We paid about, I think, 20 quid a person or 40 quid a person. I'll leave the price linked, well, I'll put the price below on a banner shortly, but other than that, I think it's pretty good value for money so far. And even if you are going Ryanair or you're going economy on a main carrier, as long as you pay the entrance fee, you can come in. It is a public lounge for the airport to use. I think you get like a 3-hour maximum stay, and then you can pay an hour extra if you wish, just so that the lounge experience isn't ruined. They give you a time limit how long you can be here. So if you do use the lounge, make sure you leave plenty of time, because it is nowhere near the gate for where Ryanair go out of. So you do have to go to a different concourse to get to it. But luckily, all the concourses are within walkable reach, so it's not too bad, not too tragic, but other than that, it's nice. Anyways, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my food. I'll see you guys I'll see you guys when we get towards the flight. Bye for now.
Charlie. Did you log into VPN or what?
Yeah, I just use my data.
Yeah, and it works.
Please passengers for the Ryanair flight for 26 destination to Stansted, get your boarding passes and passports ready for inspection. Boarding passes and passports ready for inspection. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
I feel so stupid. She said, who are you flying with? I said, Ryanair. Who am I flying with? You two.
You're 19?
Yeah, we're 19.
You're next year. You've got to go downhill now. Really? He's just better than you? Oh yeah. No, I'm looking now.
Hello. You're right.
Keep going right to the back.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're all welcome on board this Ryanair flight FR26 taking you to London Stansted. If London Stansted is not your destination, please make yourself known to the cabin crew representing the call bell in the tunnel above your head. Today you're flying on a Boeing 737-800 series type aircraft. Please move along the cabin and take your seat as quickly as possible. Your seat has been allocated to comply with written balance rules, so for your safety you must occupy your correct allocated seat on your boarding pass. As we're expecting a fully booked flight, please store your small bags, duty-free bags, backpacks, jackets underneath the seat in front of you. This for exception of passengers sitting in emergency exit rows, row 1 ABC, row 3F, row 16, 17. Once again, thank you and welcome on board this Ryanair flight, taking you to London Stansted.
Oh, you must be sweating now. He loves the aircon. Yeah. That's why you're standing there, there's the aircon. He's warm out.
You're stuck in my bag for the flight.
In the middle. Been lost now. Jack, wrong place, mate. What mine? What mine? 20D, yeah? My 20D. Sorry. No, Rob's there behind me. Yeah. No, I'm here. I'm on you. Is that the end? Is that the end? D's at the end? Is it? Are you?
Let people in and then remove.
I'll move.
Thank you and welcome on board this Ryanair flight taking you to London Stansted.
Hello everyone, we're delighted to announce you can now order food, drink and duty-free items.
Right, so we're on board the plane now on the 737-800. As you can tell, we're on an older style of interior today. This one has got the split scimitar retrofit as per the outdoor shots you'll see. Didn't get a good view of the aircraft from the terminal because, well, it's parked at one of those awkward gates where it's not near a window, so we've kind of been a bit disadvantaged on that, but we are on the exact same gate as we arrived in, which is pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, other than that, we're in a standard seat today. We're in 28 Alpha or 28A, however you want to say it, and we're just finishing off the boarding process now. Got 2 windows to myself. It's looking like a sunny day, all refreshed from the lounge. We're ready to go. Anyways, sit back, relax, subscribe when you're ready, and obviously hope you enjoy this video. I've been looking forward to making more videos in 2025, and if you're new here, just be sure to give us a subscribe. If you've subscribed for a little while, again, I'd love to see your comments regardless, really, but I hope to see some of you guys in the comment section below. Anyway, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this flight.
Small bags, duty-free bags, backpacks, jackets. Underneath the seat in front of you, this for exceptional passengers sitting in emergency exit rows.
Relax and enjoy the flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this takeoff may quite confined to emergency exit and lounge access in Palma. Thank you.
So we've just taken off now. At the moment, the seatbelt signs have just come off, so we can walk around the cabin theoretically. They're going to start with the service soon, so I might get something depending. But in the meantime, going to do a seat review, go through the seat, all the stuff like that. Hopefully you guys can hear me alright. I have set the microphone up to the max decibel, so it should be alright. But we just want to make sure it's all good, so by the time this is edited it should be alright, but I had to turn up the decibels because I was speaking a lot louder in the last video, so I'm just trying to make sure that I can be heard properly. Anyway, other than that, we're just taking off, as I said, waiting for the service to go through. Once they've cleared off with the service, I will do some cabin shots and, you know, more stuff like that. But for now, I'm just waiting until that happens and wait until they get out of the way so I can, you know, do the toilet reviews, all that stuff. Hopefully you found this video informative so far. Let me know what you think of Ryanair. Would you fly with them? Have you flown with them before? share me your experiences in the comment section below. And if you want to see my other videos, I'll link them on the video at some point, either with a pop-up card or a link at the bottom. Anyways, let's get on to the seat review, and then from there, I suppose we'll get on to the next bit, which hopefully the service, if I buy anything on board. I think I will, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get on with the seat review. Right, so excuse my runny nose. I thought I'd just show you around the seat, give you a little seat tour. Obviously, got the camera set up there, so you split ship top window. So we're all on a retrofitted aircraft because Ryanair have been retrofitting these, but that's another story for another time. In terms of the leg room, I'm sat upright in my seat, bolt upright right now, and you can see I've got a bit of room between my legs and the base of the seat in front. Thanks to there being a lack of rear pocket, that does create a lot more room for you, and thanks to the wafer-thin design of these Recaro seats, you do get, well, Recaro style, they're not Recaro, but next to the nature of these wafer-thin seats, you can see there's plenty of room, and because it's 737, you do have plenty of room between yourself and the wall of the aircraft. The sidewalls are sculpted in such a way, because this isn't the Sky interior, you do not get the same spaciousness that precedes the other one, but other than that, it's not too bad. Doesn't mean there's a lot less locker room compared to a Sky interior 737, but it's not really a big deal. Because you're not in the exit row, you do get your own tray table that folds out. Don't know why this one isn't coming out, but 1 second. That does come with a built-in coat hook as well. The table's a bit stiff, so that's the only complaint I really have. That does act as a built-in coat hook, as you can see there. You can't hook your stuff in there. Got your safety card in Ryanair fashion glued to the back of the seat with an advert, which the exit rows didn't have because of regulations and stuff. Your typical QR code menu now, because they don't do paper copies anymore. But yeah, you see the pattern. Ryanair always stick a safety card on there just to save costs, and it's less likely someone's going to steal the safety card glued to the back of the seat. Changes turnaround times, as I said before, with no seat pocket, because they don't have to check the seat pockets. The table's pretty sturdy, got a little cup holder silhouette. I've not tried holding cups in these, but I assume they're not the best. We'll give it a go shortly when we do get a drink, if we do. I wouldn't say it's the biggest desk or table even. You wouldn't be able to work on it for sure, like it's quite small for a laptop, but you can put an iPad on it, or you can put your meal on it. I'd still say it is a bit on the tight side in terms of tables, but it's definitely maybe better than the flippy table on the exit row seat that we reviewed last time, but it's down to preference really. I prefer the flippy tables over these, but these aren't too bad considering. I do think these are slightly bigger, I'm not too sure, but if you're really curious, check out the video. I'll put it in the banner above up there for you guys, so you can see my outbound trip. In terms of the window blinds, they are a little bit stiff, I'll give them that. They are a bit caked up and stiff. Windows aren't, I wouldn't say they're the worst, they're quite square. I wouldn't say they're the biggest or the smallest, but they are quite big compared to the A320, so that's just a typical 737 window for you. But in terms of its, quality, plastics feel good, the seat feels good, the quality of the seat is very nice. I would say the plastics don't seem like they're going to be easy to wear. The sticker looks like it's fine, but peeling off, it looked like it was peeling off earlier, but it should be fine. And in general, the cabin seems to be good nick. It's not too damaged, not as bad as I thought it could have been. There is a lot of vibration though, because obviously your engines are outside, a few past the engines are outside. There's not really a lot to complain about really, but you do notice the small bits and bobs once you start flying for quite a while. But I mean, other than that, other than the window blinds being a bit sticky, it's not too bad. And as I said, when you're sat upright, you've got one bag between your legs, so it's not too uncomfortable. Probably would be better if you had the bag in your overhead locker, but the lockers were full, so I couldn't. But other than that, it's not the worst. I'd say there is better choices you can go for, but if you're not old enough for an extra leg room, or you don't want to go on an extra leg room in terms of the exit rows, this is still good. I'm just under 6 foot, so I wouldn't complain. But if you are over 6 foot or you are 6 foot, you probably might want to go for those extra leg room seats at the front of the cabin or on the exit rows, which are probably the optimal place to be really. Because you're not right next to the cabin crew, whereas if you're sat on row 1A, you're facing the cabin crew right in front of you. That would be an awkward YouTube video to make, I can guarantee that. But other than that, I think it's pretty good. In terms of width for the seat, the the armrests are quite small, you can't have two arms on there. And then, unlike the exit row, you do have an armrest, but you can't put them back. They are fixed. You can't adjust them, there's no recline button. They are fixed adjustments on the seats, there's no sort of way you can. Well, you can do this one, put that one away, but you can't do the side one away. And seatbelt signs have just come on, so you now get to see me buckle up my seatbelt. Nice and satisfying, nice and tight. But yeah, not too bad if you consider it. In terms of headrest, it is a fixed headrest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain shown the fasten seat passenger can ask you to remain seated and ensure that your seat belts are securely fastened. Work and standing cabin and the use of the toilet is not permitted at this time.
So, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted, the headrest headrest isn't really existent. Headrest is just kind of like fixed, it's kind of there. And even if you're sat upright at my height, you do have a bit of room over your head, because that is just the seat's dimensions. They're not really designed for people who are just about average adult male height. But I think if you're a lady, you should be fine. If you're like average female height, you should be alright. There's not much lumbar support, but as I said, in typical Ryanair fashion, there isn't any lumbar support on the seats. They are just as they are. But because they're the thin ones, they are pretty comfortable and they create a lot more space than the old school thick Ryanair seats. I don't even know if they have them in their fleet anymore, but if you were around back in the 2010s, there was a lot of those old Ryanair seats that looked comfortable but weren't. These are miles ahead compared, and I've been on the old ones when I was a kid and much younger. I still found those mega uncomfortable. I think the last time I went on one of those was probably about 8-10 years ago on those old school seats ones, so they probably abolished that seat type completely now. But compared to what they were like, these are much better. So I think on a Max, because they try and cram all the seats in, it would be a lot worse. But on the 737-800s, you do get a lot more legroom, because these 800s were designed to have the old seats in, and the old seats were a lot chunkier. Since they've removed the old seats and retrofitted the whole fleet with these seats, I'm pretty sure they've retrofitted them. I'll pop it down below if I'm wrong or anything, but let's say they've retrofitted the whole fleet with these new seats. Because the old seats were chunkier, you've created your customers a lot more legroom, and they have the same amount of seats as the old style 737-800, so they've kind of created more legroom as a result of that. But if you do go on a Max, you do lose the legroom right here, because they cram it all together. Because it's a high density version of a 737, their Maxes are. But that's more of a subject for another day. We're not here to review a Max, we're here to review this NG. In terms of above your head, we do have our overhead panel. So you do have your reading light, unfortunately, because there's a cool bell button right above your head. If you press that, you can press the wrong one. That's what the Sky Interiors did a bit better. They had a blue cool button so that you could differentiate the difference between a cool button and, you know, the light. Whereas this, they're all exactly the same. And the loudspeakers were a lot smaller than the ones on here, and they're a lot better on the Sky Interiors, a bit more high definition. Very subtle differences, but they make a lot of difference. And you notice that you don't have any LED lights in this cabin, you just have those tube lights, the gas powered tube lights. Small details that make a lot of difference, really. But anyways, let's get back to the overhead panel. So you have your life jackets up there in Ryanair fashion. I have an adjustable reading light, which is quite stiff. That has been used in a long time. Now a little bit stiff, and they get hot very easily. You can burn your hand. Same for that no smoking sign. If you touch that, you can burn your hand. The air vents, the same twisty eyeball air vents. Not the same as the Sky Interior, but similar how they work. But these ones are a bit loose because they've been used for quite a while. But in terms of the plastics, good quality. Only problem is on the older NGs they do tend to yellow a bit, but it depends on the age of the plane. But on these ones you do tend to get a bit more yellowing on the plastics compared to your new NG Sky Interiors. They've fixed that issue, I'm pretty sure. Who knows? Whatever the test of time stands, we'll see. But in terms of that, it's not too bad. And another issue you might find with the older NGs is that the overhead lockers are a lot smaller in space. They're like the old shelf lockers rather than the pivot bins. But they're all small bits and bobs. Other than that, I've not got much else to complain about. Just thought I'd point you out the drawbacks that the older interiors give over the new interior, which we had on the way out. Enough waffling from me though. I'm just going to wait for the service to come, and then from there we'll have a look what I've got. Probably just going to get a drink because I've just had food in the lounge, which is good. Saves you a bit of money on the Ryanair flight. if you're there at the lounge long enough and you have a lot of time before your flight, you can actually stock up on quite a bit of food and save yourself some money. But other than that, there's not much else from me to report. I'm just going to keep, enjoying the flight. We'll do a bathroom review shortly, and we'll get our food and drink review done as well. Anyways, other than that, I'll catch you in just a bit. So we've got our in-flight stuff, our snacks even. Got a bag of Maltesers for the food, well, for the snack today, for this short hop. Got a can of original Coke. Now I remember Ryanair used to do Pepsi. I think they've switched over somehow because there's no Pepsi on the menu available anymore. And then obviously got a cup for my Coke. Cup holder seems to be holding things okay, but I don't know, I wouldn't trust it with my life. But it's an empty cup, so again, can't trust it fully. But it sits in there alright. Can't really go wrong too much. Anyway, let's open that Coke up. Let's give it a nice little pour. Anyway, let's enjoy this and cheers to a good flight, guys. Very refreshing. Let's get tucked into these Maltesers and, well, see you in the next bit. So, just devoured my in-flight snack, which was Maltesers and Coke. It was alright, pretty classic combo. You can buy food on board Ryanair, but I wasn't really feeling hungry. I would have bought it. I usually do buy food on the plane just to show you guys, but unfortunately this time round I didn't because I wasn't too hungry, so maybe next time I will. As I was saying in the previous video about flight suggestions, if you have any sort of suggestions you want, just pop it down in the comments below. I'll have a look what we can do for you. Obviously it depends on where it is, how long the flight is. I can't really do long haul requests fully flexible as of yet. There's still a few long haul flights that I want to do before I do take requests on long haul flights, but if there's anything short haul that's cheap and easy to do, or even with like a main airline that's doable if you book it in advance, please just let me know below. I'll have a look into it for you guys and see what we can do for the next video. It's not really easy, it's tricky to try and get car reviews done just because of insurance. I say it a lot of my videos, but it is very true unfortunately in the UK. I was lucky to be able to drive that rental car because they were kind of flexible on the insurance policy. Whoever will go buy a car, they were pretty flexible about it, so that was good. I was able to get insured on that. But in the United Kingdom, it's not easy. I promise you that. I think in America again, it's not easy to get insured on there. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. But in terms of car reviews, I'll try and pump more out if I can. I do see most of you guys prefer the plane reviews or the flight reviews even. I was also looking at doing some train reviews as well, like going to Italy, because I'm part Italian, so I have family out there, and there's a few high-speed trains that I want to try, so I might do that in the future, but who knows where it takes us. I also want to try like the Caledonian Sleeper, but let me know what you think of train reviews. It'll probably be more of a, it wouldn't be often I do train reviews because I'm not a big fan of trains, but if there is anything you want to see on that sector, again, just give me a bell. I'll have a look into it, see what I can do for you guys. So far the flight's been good, crew have been very helpful. With Ryanair there's always a bit of a consistency of they're helpful, you pay what you get for, but they're also good at what they do. And most of the crew are training to be crew for bigger airlines in the future, because Ryanair do have like a good training program and stuff like that. Same for the pilots. Hence why there's always hard landings with Ryanair, because you always get the trainees. So it's just they're training to be crew in the bigger airlines in the future, but Ryanair help get that training as essential. So they're pretty friendly. They do a good job. I've only had that filming experience, or being told off for doing that on the last flight. That's the only negative experience I've had so far. So good on this flight, I've not had any issues. Hopefully it stays that way, because again, I understand you don't want to be filmed, but you're in the public place, so at the same time it's kind of like, it is what it is, but it kind of makes my life a bit easier doing my work if I can just crack on with it, not have any altercations, and that way I can kind of show you more of what's happening on the flight rather than keep my camera down, show you bits and that stuff. I'm not going to try and get people in on purpose, but if you do end up slipping in my pic videos and stuff, it is what it is, unfortunately. But I'll try and keep everybody out as possible. But is not always easy. In terms of that, enough of my rant. In terms of that, just leave a comment below of what you want to see. If you've got any other advice for me on my filming, on my videos, again, I'd love to take some feedback. I have had a few negative comments on some of my previous videos, but again, as I said, if you haven't got anything nice to say or constructive to say, I will moderate the comments. You know, go from there where necessary. I'm not going to name and shame people, but if you do leave negative comments and they have been removed, I will do it. If it's like, you know, there's nothing nice to say or nothing, you know, constructive on it. If you've given me constructive feedback, that's different, but I kind of want the comment section to be a good vibe, you know. I don't want it to be a negative place. I want it to be a good place to comment. Any advice would be great. I'd love the advice, appreciate the advice, but yeah, enough waffling about that as well. Hopefully you enjoyed the video so far, and as I said, just leave the suggestions down below. If you've also got any questions about my videos, give me a shout as well, or alternatively, you can go to the bottom of my video and there's my email address where you can give me, you know, an email if you wish. But other than that, so far, I hope you're enjoying it. I'm going to try and get the toilet review done next, get some nice cabin shots so I can show you around if I can. Other than that, there's not much else to report on really. I'm going to try and, you know, enjoy the rest of the flight, get the bathroom review done, try and sit back, wind down, have some music on, just try and relax a bit, and then hopefully before you know it, we'll be starting on descent to London, or in Stansted, should we be more precise. Anyways, enough from me. I'll catch you in a bit. So, back from the bathroom review. As you can tell, the bathroom was pretty clean, considering this is like one of the later flights of the day. It's pretty good. And obviously, because it's the older Star one, things are a bit yellowier because it's, you know, the plastic's yellow. But that is really it. To be honest, there's not really much else to be complaining about. Cleanliness was good. Got a bit of toilet roll here and there. You know, that's going to be normal. But other than that, the surfaces look clean. I wouldn't touch it or lick it because that's obviously the bathroom. But in terms of appearance, it's not like it's been left as me. Not like it's been left a mess, not been left a judge a book by its cover, and clearly, well, with Ryanair you cannot. The product is so good in terms of it's a good low cost product. You book early enough and say, yeah, I'm going to sacrifice whatever, you know, luxuries like window seat, baggage allowance, if you would just go with the bare minimum for a day trip. I think you can find yourself some pretty good bargains, and you know, a pretty good deal, a good package. If you want some food on the go, they've got, obviously it's going to cost a lot of money compared to you on the high street, but that's just a closed audience, that's just how business and profit works. But if you look at it like that, Ryanair have got something good going for them. They've got a good, you know, good set of products really, and they've got, not only you've got Ryanair, you've also got Malta Air and Buzz forming the Ryanair group. So even louder, they're part of the Ryanair group as well. So if you fly anything Ryanair group, you're going to get the same service all round. The consistency is there. Ryanair UK, Ryanair Europe, whatever branch of Ryanair you're flying with, or you know, one of the Ryanair group divisions, you're going to get that consistent service, which is good. That's nothing better than having a bit of consistency across all your flights. Obviously, the planes' interiors aren't going to be consistent because there's different aircraft types. They're keeping a lot of their older planes and retrofitting them, as I said, with these slim back seats, the split scimitars outside. They're retrofitting the old planes, making them better and making them last longer. So Ryanair are thinking about a sustainable future, thinking about, you know, the fleet onwards, seeing how they can keep the 737NG going for as long as possible. And at some point when the NGs get, you know, sold off and discontinued, you'll have a ton of Maxes really. So either way, even the newer NGs will be around for quite a while. They've got newer interiors firstly, which helps out a lot. They can retrofit the split scimitars onto all of their 737s regardless of age. So their newer NGs could be around for a lot longer than we expect. And the old NGs could be around for a little while as well. I mean, I've seen a few of these retrofitted with LED white lights, which isn't too bad considering. But I've not seen a lot of them, so it really depends on the aircraft type. But Ryanair are keeping the aircraft going and adding Maxes to the fleet, so they're expanding the fleet while keeping their older aircraft in circulation for longer, which is quite smart of them. In terms of other things I was going to speak to you guys about, is I've got a little travel hack for you. So right now I'm currently flying over some part of France, I think above Bordeaux now, or near Bordeaux, however you want to pronounce it. Correct me in the comments if you want. But I checked Google Maps on airplane mode, no cellular data needed, no roaming needed at all really. I literally just checked on airplane mode because the phone's connected to the GPS. It tells you your location. So if you ever need an air map, or when you're not on a plane with an air map, just use Google Maps and check the GPS, and you'll see where exactly in the world you are. Even I did try it with like other map applications, but Google Maps seems to be the best in terms of it just told me the location straight away. So, you know, it's not too bad. It's just a little hack I thought I'd share with you guys, because not everyone knows that, and you know, every day's a learning day. So there you are. Anyways, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the flight. I think I've covered all corners for now, and I'll get back to you when we're near descent. Try and get you some nice outdoor shots if I can to fill the gap. But other than that, I will see you when we get to descent. Bye for now. Right, so it seems like we're starting our descent now into Stansted Airport, even not London. I was going to say London. Starting our descent Stansted. We are currently flying over the English Channel now at the moment. I've got my window half shut. You do take for granted the Dreamliner blinds when you do go on a conventional aircraft. It really is a bit annoying because you can't just look outside with a tint. You have to put the window blind down and sacrifice a view. So you do take those electrochromic windows on the Dreamliner for granted once you come back on one of these like older planes. But obviously we're not on a Dreamliner, so I understand it's an older plane, but you do take them for granted nevertheless. Flight's been good, no problems really. Not much else really happened. It's just been sitting back, chilling out. It is quite tight in here after a little while. I wouldn't want to be sitting here all the way to Gran Canaria. Stuff nearly fell over. Wouldn't want to be sitting here all the way to Gran Canaria on one of these flights on like a normal seat. But it is doable. I'm not denying that. But if you're tall like myself, you do struggle a bit on the longer flights. But for a solid 2 hour and a bit stint, it's not too bad. I'd say if you're really tall, like over 6 foot, I would recommend one of those extra legroom seats. But other than that, I don't think they're necessary for this length of flight. They are nice, but they're not necessary. And if you are wondering the seat pitch and specifications of that seat, felt like Norse Premium. And again, you'll see, if you see the Norse Premium video that I did on my channel, you'll see the legroom on there and the Ryanair extra legroom is pretty much the same. Watch either or of those videos to have a look. But in terms of the seating comfort, you have got to sit upright to enjoy the full legroom, otherwise your knees are touching the back of the seat in front of you. But that's just in my experience, people sit differently. So however you feel comfortable sitting, really. But if you want to be like straight upright, you can get quite a bit of legroom out of it, but then you do sit bolt upright, which is not fun either. Due to the lack of lumbar support, you kind of do slope back a bit, so you can't really enjoy that full legroom the entire flight. You do kind of like settle in your seat. But other than that, that's it really. I mean, it looks nice and sunny outside, but there is a lot of cloud below, so I'm going to go with the England. I'm going to go with the England's not going to be sunny. When we get down there, I'm going to go. It's going to be cloudy. Maybe I'll just give you my verdict in this, with a sec. Maybe now I'll have a look. I'll just think about it and see what we do, because I kind of want to go with a physical verdict rather than showing you guys out the window for a change. So might as well just jump into the verdict now, shall we? So Ryanair 737-800. Would I say it's a solid product? Definitely would. Seat comfort's good, considering it's a low-cost airline and the way for thin seats are pretty good. We are just talking about the 800 here, we're not talking about the Max, we are just talking about their base 737-800. So if you're on a Max, I'll have to do a separate review for that to give you my verdict, but for this, I'd say it's pretty good comfort, you can't complain. I would say upgrade on the longer journeys, or if you're taller than me, like over 6 foot. Other than that, yeah, I'd say they're a no-brainer. The service is consistent, the bathrooms are clean, the cleanliness is a lot higher than I expected. Cabin cleanliness in general is pretty good. The only problem with me that I find is the lack of seat pockets and the lack of locker space on the older aircraft. But if you get a Sky Interior, you still won't get any seat pockets, but you will get an overhead locker. And if you do sit on an extra legroom seat, legally you need to keep the area in front of you clear, so you kind of have to have a locker. So you kind of get a guaranteed locker if you fly extra legroom, which is good, especially if you don't want your bag between your legs. I don't mind it because all my recording equipment's in there, saves me going in and out for it. But in an ideal world, I would like my bag and my overhead locker to get the most legroom, really. But you can't always win, unfortunately. You do have to compromise certain things. In terms of looking out the windows are a bit low down because it is a 737, but there's not a lot you can do about that. And they are certainly bigger than most A320 windows, so you're not going to get a lot better on an A320 apart from it being higher up, really. Other than that, the 737 windows are the biggest narrow body windows ever. I'm pretty sure they are. Narrow body, yes, not biggest in the world though, but narrow body definitely the biggest by far. Other than that, seat comfort, food, as I said, all of that stuff's good. There's a consistency in the service. On the other flight, the food and the seat comfort was good, the bathrooms were clean, and same for this flight. If you do fly on an older cabin, you do feel a bit tighter in your seat because obviously the bin shape, but other than that, there's not really a lot to complain about. I would say depending on the flight, depends on what staff you get though. But I've never really had any negative, apart from the film recording thing, which was on the last flight. I've not had any negative sort of problems on this flight, so this flight's definitely been an improvement on that front. But I would say that I'd preferably go for the Sky Interior 737s, or possibly a Max. But again, I don't know what the legroom is like on a Max. I need to try that out before I have a full opinion on that. But it's good low cost service, and I haven't tried the hot food on board, but a long time ago I did, and it was pretty good. I don't know if it's changed a lot. Probably hasn't. Probably has stayed the same for quite a few years now. But if you've had a Ryanair food, or any meals on Ryanair, let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear your opinions on it. And if you guys have flown Ryanair before, share your experience. I'd love to hear what your experience was like. Just spread the word. Other than that, would I recommend it to you guys? 100% I would recommend it. If you've got a short day out you want to go on for cheap, I'd recommend this airline over anything. Yes, their baggage allowance is a bit questionable sometimes, but if you pack one bag you can get a flight cheaper than a curry in the UK. So the way I see it is, if you want a flight cheaper than a curry or cheaper than a takeaway, try and book early, go the base fare, and don't be afraid to bring one bag. Have a good one. You can even go away for a weekend or go away for a day trip with one bag, save yourself a ton. I've seen videos of people going to, I think, Milan for a pizza or something because it was cheaper travelling with Ryanair to get a pizza than have a pizza in the UK. So, if you can do that, definitely give it a go. In terms of holiday, if you're going on a holiday, a package holiday, well, not package holiday, but if you're going on a holiday, I'd say Jet2 are a little bit more generous on the baggage allowance, and their staff are a little bit more friendlier than Ryanair's, but Ryanair's aren't not friendly, they're just doing their job, whereas Jet2 kind of have to create the whole Jet2 experience kind of thing. So it depends who you fly with, really. I'm yet to fly with TUI or any other low-cost carrier at the moment, or Norwegian. I do hear Norwegian are good, so I'll try and get them in the future if I can. I do go to Sweden quite a bit every now and then, so if I can try and get a flight to Norwegian from Gatwick with them, I'll do it. But until then, I don't know what I'll be doing next. Hopefully you guys can leave suggestions below. I'll have a look what I can do, as I said before multiple times. I'll see what I can do. If other than that, we'll see what the next flight brings us, really. As I said, I've got a lot of content planned for this year, or more, hopefully more consistency this year compared to last year. But again, I haven't got all the days off in the world, so I do have to kind of be wise on my days off and spend them wisely. As I said, I recommend Ryanair to you guys. Sorry for waffling a lot, it's just there's a lot of information to give to you guys. And as I do this more, I'll get better and better at it. But yeah, other than that, if you have any questions, be sure to comment below. I'll try and answer your questions to the best of my ability. Any sort of inquiries, again, regarding anything, just give me an email on my email address at the bottom of the video, and I'll have a look. I might even link it on the video, or pop it on the video, so you can give me an email if you really want to email me rather than comment. It's up to you guys, really. But other than that, I've not got much else to say. We're getting close to landing, getting close to descent. Thought I'd give you the verdict in person rather than on text, just for a change. Let me know how you prefer your verdicts delivered, and I'll see what I can do for you guys in terms of that. Maybe on the future videos I'll try and deliver verdicts in person rather than doing it on text, because it is a lot of editing as well, and I'm sure you'd rather have me speak to you about a verdict. But other than that, let me know. I'd appreciate it. Your feedback means a lot to me. I'll try my best to, cater to you guys as much as I can. As I said, if you've not subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. There's a lot more content coming, and I just want to say thanks to those who've subscribed since day one or at the early days of Des Reviews. It really means a lot to me, and I'm glad to get a lot of comments from a lot of loyal fans. A few of them are recognising more and more, which is good. But I'm looking forward to the future. Anyway, let's get towards landing. I'll get a nice recording of us, or get a nice recording of the window view landing. And yeah, I'll see you on the ground. Bye for now.
welcome you to London Stansted. The drop-off time is approximately 5 to 6. Please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the captain will stop the fasten seatbelt sign for you. Please exercise extreme caution and not need overhead lockers, as items dislodged during landing may fall out and cause injuries. Laptops and large electronic devices must remain switched off and securely stowed. You may now use your portable electronic devices. For passengers who smoke, please refrain from smoking until reach designated smoking area outside the terminal building. For more information, car hire, hotel accommodation, please visit our website ryanair.com. We would like to thank you for choosing.
What's it? Put it like yeah, probably sound. Sorry. Cheers. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. They're ready for other nights where the landings are under the bloody time. It's an easy job, isn't it? Infrastructure, do fuck all. No. So you want to hear my video? Listen. Are you still filming?